Hey guys,
Ryan here.
I'm Matthew here, and welcome back to our YouTube channel with the first video of
2020.
Woo!
So we wanted to decide to do kind of like a video dedicated to LGBTQ plus community. So we came up with this going through all like big key moments for like from coming out being gay to kind of like dealing with homophobic hate and just homophobic hate, but also just simply knowing if you are like gay or whatever.
So we thought, because the Matthew and Ryan family is growing and we're getting lots and lots of young people ask us questions about how they can come out, or kind of talking to us about some of the issues that they're having about being LGBTQ+, and we thought we'd make a mini series about it just to try and help you guys and you know, give back to
and we kind of wanted to, we basically broke it down into different types of videos. So depending on like where you are at the stage, maybe like if you have come out but you're dealing with like losing friends, and obviously that video is going to be really helpful. But maybe if you maybe don't even know if you are gay, then that video might not necessarily like impact you right now. Or so, but remember, this is kind of like our opinions. We're not experts,
not professionals in it, but we're just giving you hopefully some advice that will help you. And if you think that you are watching this and it might help someone else, obviously send it to your friends, send it to your family, and hopefully it will help them too.
Okay, so the today's video is gonna be on like, how do you know?
How do you know?
How do you know?
Bi, trans,
whatever
anything.
you
How do you know?
How do you actually know? And I feel like in today's society, I feel like it's a lot harder because there's a lot more kind of labels going around. And I've always been the person that just does not like labels. I think like it could put a lot of pressure on you to make sure you identify as something, and sometimes it's not as black and white. So Matthew, how did you know you were gay?
I basically knew I was gay because I've always had an attraction to boys. Always.
Men.
This is very men, very stereotypical, but in a way because I used to always hang around with girls and I was just so much more feminine than I was masculine. So at school I'd never want to play football, I'd never want to hang around with boys, because even now like I feel quite uncomfortable when I'm surrounded by men. Like I'm so bad in masculine environments, and I kind of just knew from just the way I like naturally wanted to be around girls, or you know, and I did just fancy boys like growing up, so I always knew. And there was always one turning point when I was watching Will and Grace on my bunk bed, and I can't remember what the guys are called, obviously Will and the other one and Will and Grace, but as soon as I knew that like their lifestyle and the fact that they were like openly gay, I just knew that that was like what I was meant to be like. What about you?
So for me, I think I'm very similar. I think I always knew, and I think as I was growing up, I never actually identified as gay. I just identified it as liking boys. When I was in year 6 and year 5, year 6, the word gay didn't really float around, so I didn't know what I was. I just thought I liked boys, and at that time I liked boys because I was a boy. Year 5, year 6, I liked guys, and I think I never identified as that. I never thought anything was abnormal or anything that was different from all the other guys in my school. So I remember playing like kiss chase quite often. I used to always want to kiss the boys rather than kiss
like this.
rather than kiss the girls. And I remember one time I gave my favourite Pokemon card to a boy, and I didn't really understand what it was. But there was clearly an attraction, but I didn't necessarily identify it as being gay because I never really heard or knew that was a thing. And I think there was no one around me at that time that I could like be like, you watched Will and Grace. I never had that like eureka moment where I was like, oh my god, that's what being gay is. So I think that's how I kind of knew. But sometimes it's not as easy as that, and I think sometimes like I was saying, labels can have like a massive pronoun effect on like, oh, I need to identify, oh, I need to be classed as something. And I think how you know is when like you just know, and I think you don't need to identify as being straight, gay, bisexual, pansexual, asexual, whatever you identify as. You don't have to. You can just be who you are. And I think we forget minds work very differently. You might be really attracted to one guy in your school, but it might be girls the rest. So it doesn't mean that you are bisexual. You might want to identify as bisexual, but it doesn't mean you are bisexual. It just means maybe you've got this connection with this one guy which cannot be explained, but you might identify more straight, and I think that's okay. And
Definitely.
that's, yeah.
I think one thing that's really important is that people are always going to say to you, oh, you might always watch videos and different things online and think your path needs to be the same as everyone else's, but your path is going to be so different to everyone else's. Like, you don't have to think, oh, if you watch, like, for example, I just said about Will and Grace, you don't have to think, oh, if I don't feel that way when I watch Will and Grace, like, you're going to be so different. You're not going to have the same path as me or Ryan. Everyone's path is different, so you just have to, like, embrace that your path is going to be different.
And don't feel like you are wrong if your path is different, and don't feel, oh, I'm a bit messed up. That means I'm messed up because I don't know what I like. That's completely normal. You don't have to know. And I think from when we grew up, it was a lot more not easier, but it was a lot more simpler to kind of like, oh, I like boys, I'm gay. What's now it's, I don't think there's too many like labels, and I think sometimes
that's just like the biggest thing, like to not label your feelings.
Yeah.
So important, not to label it. So even if you think, or for example, everyone will once in their lifetime have an attraction to the same sex, regardless of how macho or how like straight the person is. There will be one time where they have a tiny attraction to the same sex, for sure. And I think that if you keep
and I think you don't, when you have that small attraction to that same sex, doesn't mean that you are necessarily gay. I mean, you might simply like I'm gay, but I still see a woman and stuff like she's really pretty, she's
or
really beautiful. Doesn't mean that I'm now straight or I have an urge to be with that woman. It just means that I can acknowledge someone's beauty, or yeah.
And you might be sat there thinking, oh my god, I'm straight, but I really like a boy, and you're a boy watching this, or a girl and you're a girl watching this. But it's okay. Like, that doesn't mean that you don't have to pick yourself, I'm now like gay, I'm now a lesbian, I'm now whatever. Like, it just depends. Like, you're on your own journey. You might just really like that person because they're really kind. You might be attracted to the feelings. It's not always about the sex of someone, whether they're male or female or non-binary. Like, it doesn't matter. Like love is like within. So if you like that person for them, you don't have to label yourself to then say that you're a lesbian or gay or anything like that. It just means that you are in love with another person because you love what's within them. And
also, love comes in many different forms. So as you're growing up and maybe you are figuring out like who your feelings are for, you might have like one really good friend that might be the same sex, and because you love that friend doesn't necessarily mean that you love him in the way that you would love a partner as such. So like, there's ways that you have to figure that out, but you can love someone so much, but doesn't mean that you are be identified as a lesbian or gay because you have, you know, your best boyfriend. It doesn't mean that you have that attraction straight away. Same vice versa with girls. One
thing I need to make sure we cover in this video is the word phase. Now, you're gonna know or you might not know, but if someone says to you, oh, say if you come up to someone and say, oh, I really like boys, and you're a boy, or girls, they might say to you, oh, it might just be a phase.
You're too young to know.
Now, don't listen to that, because
they don't know.
It doesn't matter if it is or isn't a phase, though. You don't have to be like, oh, next year I'm going to be back to being straight and liking, you know, the normal thing that I should like. Like, you don't have to think it's going to be a phase. Like, phases, no one knows your journey, no one knows how you're feeling, no one has the right to then label your feelings as a phase. You might then...
Very condescending.
And you might think, oh, maybe it is a phase, and yeah, it might be a phase, so that's not a bad thing, because you're allowed to explore your sexuality and be whoever you want to be, try different things because you only live once. But if you think that it is a phase, then that's absolutely okay, and, you know, it might pass, but don't put pressure on yourself for that phase to go, because... like, you just don't know, especially if you're growing up, or
how do you know?
Even if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you might start having feelings for the opposite sex or anything like that. Like, nothing is a phase. It doesn't mean it's a blip. It just means that you're finding yourself. Like, people change all the time. People change their hair all the time, that kind of thing. I'm not like making sexuality and stuff feel like a flippant thing, but like, people do change. It's okay to change. Like, you can be whoever you want to be.
And I think that when it comes down to, like, how do you know? I think you only know when you you have to dabble. I think we've both had girlfriends.
Girlfriends?
And we...
Oh my god.
Even when I was in year 5 and year 6, I knew I liked boys, but because I just didn't know, I had to have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I had to, like...
I had a girlfriend at 13 and 14.
And I think that's where you have to... And might be classed as a phase. But it's because you have to, like, experiment in some aspect, just to know, like, to get that confusion, because you just don't know. No one knows you unless you experiment and you try, and maybe you hold hands with a girl and you hold hands with a boy. Like, I think your heart knows. Maybe it's both, maybe you like both, maybe you like one, or maybe you didn't like either, and that's all okay. But I think you have to kind of not experiment, but you have to try these things and just be open.
And another thing I just feel like I need to say, if you going through the stage of thinking, oh, I might be gay, but other people are telling you that you are gay and you're just so confused, I'd say don't feel pressured to do social norms and get a girlfriend, because I feel like that's what happened to me when I was younger. I don't think you should feel like, obviously if you want to experiment, you want to try different things, then it's completely, that's a different realm of things that you can try and do. But I feel like you shouldn't think, oh, I need to have a girlfriend, so people stop saying it. Like, just embrace who you are and just don't feel pressured to change the way you live just because of what other people think or say. Like, it's literally none of their business. So one of the last things we want to touch on is when people come out as bisexual, where they like all walks of life, which is like amazing. A lot of people will then think it's a phase, or it's like a transitioning of them coming out as fully gay, and that is like so wrong for other people to say that.
It's very upsetting and rudely. It's very rude.
Yeah, so don't, like, if someone says that to you, if you're bi and you've come out as bi and someone says, oh, it's because they're like halfway to being gay, like, don't even laugh it off, because it's like not funny. Like, it's not their joke or their life. If you make a joke about it, it's completely different, because it's you like just having making fun of yourself for your own self, just to make yourself laugh, I guess. But like, it's no one else's business to do that, so don't
like put you down.
Yeah, don't let anyone put you down. But it's certainly not, doesn't mean that you're like, if you
or you haven't got the balls.
Yeah, like it does not mean that at all. So if you feel like you like both sexes, do not feel bad or feel like you're then going to become fully gay once you like get with the opposite sex. Like, that doesn't mean a thing. It just means that that's how you feel, and you're allowed to be bisexual. Like, it's not greedy like people say it is. Like, it's not gross or anything like that. Like, you can be whoever you want to be. So if you're confused and or even if you just feel like you like boys and girls, that's completely okay.
And I just think, to summarise everything in this video, I think how you know if you're like a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, whatever you want to identify as yourself, I just think you don't know until you kind of have to live life a little bit. And I think as you start living life and as you mature and grow, that your mind and these feelings start happening. I think if you're young, you also have your hormones that come through your body, and I think that can obviously impact, maybe mess your feelings around, your head around. And I think it is okay not to know. You might be seeing your friends getting girlfriends, saying I love you, and you're there like, I feel weird because I don't know. It's okay. It's literally okay. You do not have
to rush your feelings at all, so don't feel like you have to rush them.
Like, just relax, enjoy life, and kind of go with it, and think like, yes, you might look at us and be like, oh, you know exactly who you are, but I think you've got to remember, I've been in the same position like 10 years ago when we first kind of started coming out. We were in the same position of being a bit like lost and confused, but now like, as you grow up, you kind of know yourself a lot more.
And it takes time. Like, don't feel like you're gonna start getting these feelings one day, or if you've had these feelings for a long time, you're gonna wake up tomorrow and you'll have all the answers. Like, it takes time. Your journey is so different to everyone else's, so don't look at other people's videos, or don't compare yourself to our journey, because it's so different. Like, you're on your own beautiful path, and you'll just find out who you are through your own life journey. Like, there's no like quick fix to feelings or LGBTQ+. There's no quick, oh, I'm this, I'm that. You can't label yourself, because you're just on your own journey, and you will find yourself, and you will know deep down as soon as you get where you feel like you need to be in terms of your feelings and what you feel.
So ignore labels.
No labels.
So put labels. I'm strongly against labels, especially when you're kind of figuring out who you want to be. So just ignore labels and just go with yourself. And I think it's okay not to know. Experiment, and if you don't like it, it's fine. Like, if you don't want a girlfriend, or you don't want a boyfriend, it's fine.
Just don't worry about it.
You just maybe at that time where you're not into either, and that's okay. Or you might find that, oh, you were straight, but you have like a connection with this one boy, but you can't put your like, are you gay, are you straight, or are you confused, are you bi? You don't need to know. You need to focus on that you like this person. That's okay.
So guys, we hope this helped you or has given you some kind of light on how do you know you're gay. Like, you will just know, like, it's no one else's journey. Don't let anyone put their, like, friggin' mind in your mind. Like, it is your life and your path, so don't let anyone else walk in it for you.
And ignore the labels when you're figuring it out. Just go with whatever, go with your feelings, and just be like, that's okay. Everything is 100% okay with what you want to do. So, guys,
if there's anything else you want us to cover in this series, we've got our own little plan for this series. So we've got this series coming up for the LGBTQ plus series, just like a talk series, like we said. So it'll be videos similar to this, so hopefully we can share some advice, some light, and help some of you guys out there. And if obviously if you don't find like it's helpful to you, but you think it's great for a family or friend, send it to them, and we just hope we can help someone. Even if we help one person, then we've done a great job.
So make sure you leave a comment if you do have any kind of LGBTQ plus topics that you want us to go through, and we'll add them to our list. Please make sure you hit the thumbs up button and turn on your notifications the next time we do an LGBTQ
plus talk series video.
That's a lot of letters. Then you will get notified. But we love you guys so much.
So much.
We shall see you soon.
Mwah.